What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Titans sector. If you're a Titans fan, this is the place to be. The takes are hot, the passion is real, and the opinions are sure to collide. As always, I'm joined by my man Ghost over here, and I am Van. Today, we're going to be discussing real deal or reality check, and that's going to be in regards to some off-season key additions that have come into the Tennessee Titans organization, player acquisitions, and how they fit into the 2026 Titans roster. Will they be a real deal, or do we need to pump the brakes a little bit and have a reality check on what their contributions to this team might be? So before we get into that content, I want to take a moment to ask you guys to stop, hit that like button on the video, subscribe to your channel if you have not subscribed yet. And if you guys think there's somebody out there that's a Titans fan that would like to see our content, share this video with them. Let them know about the Titans sector. We appreciate all of your support. Okay, with that said, Ghost, real deal or reality check, take it away.
All right, man. Go ahead and bring it up. Boom. Number 1, Wan'Dale Robinson.
Wan'Dale, number 4 now. Number 1 on the list.
Yep. So Wan'Dale Robinson, 2025 stats with the Giants. He had 92 receptions for 1,014 yards, 4 touchdowns on 140 targets, 11 yards per reception with 392 yards after catch.
Yak.
Man, you got to love yak yards.
I love yak.
Bonus yards. Yes.
Yeah, man.
So where do you think you fall on real deal or reality check?
Well, for Wan'Dale, I think he's the real deal, man. Like, I've been watching Wan'Dale since he was at Kentucky because I'm an SEC fan. I've been appreciative of his game since the college career. And I saw him, at the Giants. To be honest with you, there's a lot of SEC guys that I like to follow. I love the college game because I'm able to see college players, not just with my particular team, which is Alabama, but I'm able to see their growth. I really like it. It's almost like watching a reality show unfold. So I really do follow where a lot of these guys end up in the NFL. And when I saw I went to the Giants, I'm just like, kind of sucks for him, but it was great to see his progression. And, the thing about Wan'Dale last year that stuck out, right? He's going through so many different quarterbacks last year, really the last 2 years, between Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. And, he talked about in a recent episode of Up and Adams with Kay Adams, he had a great interview that if you guys out there haven't seen, you should check out, where he talked about how important Russell Wilson was in his growth, and that Russell Wilson actually went to the coaching staff and said, "Hey, I'd like to see Wan'Dale get some opportunities to stretch the field, down the field." And so, it all worked out, right? It worked out, and now he's a Tennessee Titan. But there's a couple of things that I love about Wan'Dale right off the bat that gives me a conviction to say real deal. And that would be the fact that he has really good hands. He's not afraid to go over the middle. He's not afraid to take a big hit. And this is not a big dude, right? I mean, this is a guy I think he comes in.
Kind of a little dude, actually.
Yeah, he's a short king, man, What is he, 5'8", I think they said?
Yeah.
Right? So,
yep.
But man, he's a fearless dude on that football field, right? And it shows not only by the ability that he has in production last year, but also that yak yardage, which we need a yak king on this team. We lacked explosive plays in 2025, and we need somebody that can take the ball and do something with it, move the chains, get the yardage, and keep this offense moving down the field. You got to love 11 yards per reception, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at 140 targets. Part of that was in Brian Dable's offense before Dable was dismissed. That's crazy. 140 targets is a lot. And that was on a team with Malik Neighbors. Granted, Malik got hurt. So that was a lot that I said there, but I think Wan'Dale is a fantastic piece. And the last thing I'll close with is this: 4 touchdowns on 92 receptions. I kind of like that, man. Look at our wide receiver room with Carnell Tate, Wan'Dale, Ellick, and then Chim. We got some weapons, Gunner. So I like that. I like that 4 touchdown piece. If we got that out of Wan'Dale this year, huge success. What do you think?
Absolutely. So it looks like we're going to agree on this one. Real deal. Reason being, when I think of Wan'Dale, I think of a guy who played through a lot of turmoil on the Giants. Like you said, he had a lot of different quarterbacks. Neighbors went down. He moved up the depth chart a little bit, got a little bit more attention. I think when he comes here, I think he's not going to have to be the focus. So I think that's going to help him. I think he might actually do better than he did with the Giants on the yardage piece. You know what I mean? Because we have like a Carnell Tate, Ridley. I mean, right now on paper, we have weapons all across the offense. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think with him being a bit of a safety valve for Cam Ward, and like you said, sure hands, I think he could improve those touchdowns this year with the Titans. So, I mean, time will tell, but I absolutely think for the money you see some of these wide receivers getting right now and what we got Wan'Dale Ward and the production he had last year and familiarity with Dabble, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer.
I agree. Yeah, the familiarity piece is huge. I don't think I even mentioned that, but that's massive. And that allows at least Wan'Dale and Dable to be on the same page from a coordination standpoint and a play calling standpoint. And then you just got to worry about the chemistry with Cam, which I think is going to come.
Absolutely. So we will go ahead and move on to Mitch Trubisky.
Mitchell.
2025 stats with the Bills. So not a lot of attempts or anything here.
Yeah.
But so his completion percentage was 71.4% when he played, 313 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, no interceptions, QBR of 137, and yards per attempt 8.9. And I think what we can draw from this, I'll go ahead and lead on this one. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's great.
Purely from a backup quarterback perspective, I think I have to say real deal. I don't think you can say anything other than real deal. Obviously, the guy can spell a quarterback and come in and perform at a high clip. You know what I mean? I mean, is he going to come in and start and be like, I don't know that he could do that. If that was our plan, I would probably say reality check. It's a completely different world. You know what I mean?
Right.
So as a quarterback, I think this is also a home run signing by board.
Yeah, I would say the context matters, and you said it exactly right. You know, because if this was our starting quarterback selection, I think we'd all have to be like, But for me, as a backup quarterback, this would be real deal for me because you want a backup quarterback that's going to be able to come in a pinch, in a regular season game, in a big moment, and perform for your team, lead them to a win. And Mitch Trubisky can do this. He's shown he can do this. He's been in a good system in Buffalo under Joe Brady. He was also with Brian Dable. He was with the quarterback coach that we have. And he backed up, one of the best in the game in Josh Allen, right? Mm-hmm. He's had experience at a high level as a starting quarterback in the NFL. He was a high draft pick. He's been through all of his own stuff, and now he's an older guy in NFL terms. And I think this is a great signing from Borgonzi, and I think it solidifies a depth, and it also brings a veteran presence with the knowledge of Dable's system into the quarterback room. It's a win-win all the way around.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think you can say much else because was he there when Dabo was there as an OC?
I believe he was. I think he was.
I think that familiarity is just huge. Not only from a backup quarterback perspective coming in and playing, but it's a helping Cam Ward perspective. You know what I mean? I think that's massive. You ready?
It really is. 3? Yeah, let's go to number 3.
Schlottman. So 2025. So this is not really stats, I guess, but he had a PFF grade when he played of 70.8 overall. Pass blocking grade 77, run blocking grade 69.8. Games played 17. Started 4. That's pretty good. I mean, he didn't start all of those, obviously. I couldn't tell you how much time he played in those 17 games. I think it's promising. I think maybe we should make this clear. So reality check does not mean they're going to be bad. Reality check just means like maybe it's a wait and see. Maybe it's not let's just have the fanboy reaction and be like, yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. So
right.
This is a reality check for me. I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit on him. Maybe he comes in and adds some balance to this offensive line that maybe we haven't had in a while. That's completely possible. I don't think he's going to come in and fix any kind of perceptions of a bad line or holes in our line that we have.
Yeah, this one's interesting for me because I can actually, this one's very much like Schlotman to me is a bit on the fence of both of these angles. But when I had to choose, I'm going to also select reality check. And I hate to agree with you this much on a pod. I hate it.
I know.
hate it.
Hopefully we'll see how it goes. By the way, none of this is planned. So if we agree, we need to get different hosts.
Yeah, this is all off the cuff, new to us too. But no, I would agree that's a reality check. But what I will say for Austin Schlotman, and the reason to me it's a reality check is because, you know, he has the 4 games started with 17 games played. You know, there's not a lineage, a history of him being the main guy the entire time. The things that I do like about Schlotman is coming from a familiarity once again with Daboll. We're going to see this as a reoccurring theme this offseason with many offensive weapons that we signed. But you got to like that. You got to like the fact that he understands that. I think that he is going to be a very good veteran presence and a vocality, and I think provide a bit of regularity to the offensive line, stability, if you will. But there are some competition clearly in the room, right? We drafted Pat Coogan, which I love, from Indiana. We've got Jackson Slater over there, who is getting reps at guard. So he's not in direct competition with Schlotman. But to me, it's more like I'm more on the wait and see, right? I'm more on the, you got to prove this to me. So that's why I fall into the reality check with Austin Schlotman in 2026.
Absolutely. And hopefully he becomes a real deal. That's what we're always hoping for.
We'd love it.
These guys become a real deal. So next we have Bellinger, tight end. 2025 stat breakdown. So receptions, 19. Yards, 286. 2 touchdowns on 26 targets. Yards per reception, 15.1. I'll let you lead on this one.
All right, so I'm going to say real deal with Bellinger. And the reason I'm saying real deal is, again, context matters. You know, it mattered for Trubisky and it matters for him. We can't expect Bellinger to come in and be, a tight end 1. Yeah, we paid him $8 to $10 million a year. So what? Okay, great. But I think for the system that we're going to be running under Daboll, what you get out of Bellinger with Helm on the other side of that tight end room, essentially operating as 1 and 2, you get somebody who is a strong run blocker that understands the offensive scheme and system, that is sure-handed, that can get open in space. And as you can see by his numbers, right, when he makes a play, he makes a play. And he also can be a steady red zone guy. And you need that as a tight end. If you're not going to be tight end number 1, and I think Gunnar Helm is tight end number 1 for this team, then what should we expect, right? We should want somebody that's going to be able to come in, run the scheme, get open, and make plays when they're not the main read, right? When you're not the main guy. If you're in the red zone or if you're in the 50-plus territory, you want a tight end that's going to be able to get open, that's going to be able to shed a block, run a delay, do something, and be a valve for Cam Ward. So for me, I think Bellinger is the real deal.
Absolutely. So for me, I'm going to have to say reality check.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
So like when I go through these stats, they're fine. But one that pops off the page to me is the 15.1 per reception. That's pretty good. And we kind of got a quarterback that likes to throw it downfield. So that definitely intrigues me with Cam Ward and having that kind of like safety valve. But I think before I can say like a real deal on somebody like this, like I've got to see those receptions and yards come up. You know what I mean? 2 touchdowns, all of that. Like maybe Helm is the guy that we all think he is and want him to be. And that I think if Bellinger could like double it, then I think he is the real deal for like what we would have brought him in for. But that the 15.1 per reception does intrigue me though. I am kind of excited about that, even though I said reality check.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. There.
So stop hate. Zoom in. I got his hair and everything. So it's a good pick though. But so this is Tommy Townsend, punter.
Yeah.
So stats I've got brought up from him. in 2025. So total punts 72, net average 41.6. That is actual yards on the field. For anybody watching, that's just not the air yards that they sometimes I think that's gross.
Yeah.
Longest punt 73 yards.
Boom.
So he's got a leg on him. Inside the 20, 30 punts, and touchbacks 5, fair catches 14. I think when I think about this guy, I think he's going to be better than Hecker. I got to immediately think he's going to be better than Hecker. He's got to be an improvement there. With Bones Fassel, I think he's going to have that natural uptick that you get from a good special teams coach, the best special teams coach in the NFL. So I'm going to have to say that with his wisdom in people's ear, I'm picking people up. I got to say Townsend, real deal.
Yeah, man. This is crazy how excited I got when we signed this guy because he's a punter. Like, people, you guys watching out there, you don't understand how genuinely excited I was to get this punter, because I've actually been watching Tommy for years. And this guy is a talented punter, man. He really is. You look at those stats, you look at inside the 20, which is where you want to be, right? You want a punter that can put that offense down inside the 20 without getting a touchback. That's 30 punts compared to 5 touchbacks. That is value right there, right? And you're going to have Bones coaching those guys to go down there and make sure they get those coffin corners, those, down the ball, keep it out of the end zone. 14 fair catches, that means you got hang time. You can get the ball up in the air. You're going to make sure that returner calls a fair catch, and you don't have to deal with those yards. And like you said, man, the guy's got a cannon of a leg. Like, he really does. And so he can flip a field. I think one thing that we struggled on last year one of the many things we struggled last year was Hecker. I just don't think he did that great of a job. I mean, I'm sure good veteran, been around the league forever. I think this is immediate improvement at that position. So for me, it has to be real deal for Tommy Townsend.
I mean, it's hard. We had Brett Kern for how long, and that guy was automatic. You know what I mean? And he wasn't a big leg guy per se. But no, I'm excited. I think this is definitely an upgrade from Hecker, and this coupled with having Bones Fassel, which you always feel good about special teams with that guy around. Hope he's around for a long time.
Yes.
Definitely real deal. Definitely.
And shout out to the Tommy Townsend Stan account on X, man. We love your work. It's a great account.
He's doing a good job. Definitely.
Doing a good job. This whole segment was for you, buddy.
Was he previously Hecker? Did he switch to that? Maybe. No, which is fine. It's fine. All right. So next we have JFM from the Broncos. So 2025 stat breakdown: games played 16, total tackles 25, solo tackles 12, 7.5 sacks, 39 pressures, and 6 tackles for a loss. I think what you see here is a guy that is in the backfield a lot. Like a lot. And I think that is only going to go up beside of Jeffrey Simmons. I feel like this is going to be one where we agree. But we'll see.
I hope so.
We'll see.
I hope so.
He is a real deal. I was excited when we got him. I think I told this story before. I thought we traded Jeff Simmons to the Broncos because they both wore 98, and then when he has no sleeves, he also has tattoos. Like, I didn't give it a good look. It was like small on my phone on Twitter, so I about lost my mind for a little bit when we first got this guy, and then it was like the complete opposite emotion when I realized that we actually got JFM. I was pretty
from
stoked.
The lowest of lows to the highest of highs.
So real deal, 100%.
Yeah, I agree. It's a real deal, man. JFM is probably one of my favorite signings this offseason, the entire offseason. And it's not only because of the pure talent that he is. That Denver Bronco defensive line last year was insane. I mean, we played them, and it wasn't just JFM. They were across the board talented, right? But his production and his piece next to the other DT, which his name always skips my mind, but I think it's Zach something or another. But man, they did fantastic. And that guy's nowhere near the player of Jeffrey Simmons. So the mere thought of having JFM and Big Jeff next to one another, wreaking absolute havoc on offensive lines in the backfield, it just fills me with pure glee, man. I cannot wait to watch this guy go to work. He knows, like you said, how to wreck an offense, how to get in the backfield. Sacks 7.5. Man, I mean, with 39 pressures, this guy is going to be an absolute monster. And I don't think he's going to be one of those big signings, by the way, like Albert Hainsworth of the old when he went to Washington from us and disappeared when he got his big paycheck.
Yeah.
I don't think that's this guy. I don't think that's this guy.
Too. I think he can swing outside, like give us that versatile piece that we can kind of move around and keep people guessing, which is kind of how all the defense works anyway. So no, man, I'm really excited about this one. Absolutely.
Same. Yeah, real deal for sure.
All right, you Vol fans out there.
Get excited.
Yeah, we got Alontae Taylor. I tell you what, I really wanted this guy, and watching this offseason, it wasn't like the Rand Carthon offseason when he was going on a shopping spree. Like, it really seemed like there was some, like, I think you've said it before on previous pods, some conviction in what they were doing. They weren't like just paying a ton of money to pay a ton of money. But with that said, Alontae Taylor, 2025 stat breakdown. We got 17 games played, 83 total tackles. 59 of those were solo, 2 interceptions, 11 passes defended, and then 2 sacks and 7 tackles for a loss. So I'll let you go on this one, man.
Yeah. Well, so you guys might have heard, if you watched the pod, that I went to the Saints game last year at Nissan Stadium, and I saw Alontae in person, and he was dominant. I mean, he did a absolute fantastic job in that defensive scheme. Granted, we may utilize him a little bit differently in our defensive scheme, but Alontae was everywhere. He's somebody that if he needs to blitz off the edge, he can get in the backfield quick. He's smart. He's not reckless when he goes back there either. It's not one of those corners that comes off the edge and you feel like, maybe he's going to lose this or he's going to make a bad play or slip. The quarterback's going to slip him. He's a strong guy even for his frame. The other thing is, man, he was sticky as a corner. And in that game, there was actually one Cam Ward pass that he 100% should have picked off. It went through his hands. If he picked it, it would have been a pick six. When Cam threw it, everybody in the stands was just, because we just knew. We knew. We saw Alontae. Yeah, we saw him reading it. He was going to dive in front of it. Thank God he dropped it. But Alontae, man, is a talented guy. And I think we got him at a really good point in his career, which excites me for the arc potential that he has on a Titans roster under Robert Saleh. And coming from last year with the wreck and the wreckage of a secondary defensive room that we had, that Denard Wilson had, to me, this is a huge win and a real deal from the performance that we've seen already that Alontae's put out. Absolutely.
And I think this is another one of those players that, like a JFM, I think he'd be crazy to just say reality check just to say it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean, you got to say real deal, man. Completely agree. I mean, you can tell by his stats, like you said, all over the field. This guy's behind the line of scrimmage. This guy's sacking quarterbacks. This guy's defending passes, intercepted passes. A lot of tackles, involved in a lot of tackles. So, he's getting to the football. So, no, I'm excited. Real deal. Seems very legit. Going back home under Saleh.
Absolutely.
You got to be an uptick there. So, I don't think he just seems like a guy that has a lot of momentum in his corner. So, I'm excited to see him play for the Titans.
Yeah, he has the potential for this franchise. Potential, okay? But he has the potential to be one of our true franchise lockdown corners, We put out a tweet on X today about who's the greatest cornerback in Titans franchise era history. And I think Alontae Taylor is somebody that has the framework and the potential to stay with this organization and climb those ranks. Where he ends up, who knows? But that excites me, man.
Absolutely, man. Very, very excited. Next, another cornerback. We got Flott. Obviously not as much production, but definitely I would say a breakout year for somebody like Flott. Mm-hmm. Games played 14, total tackles 38, solo tackles 27, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, 11 passes defended, and 3 tackles for a loss. I'll go ahead and take this one if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say for Flott, I want to say real deal. I understand he doesn't have quite the stats of Taylor. Watching this guy play, he's feisty.
Yeah.
He's physical.
Yeah.
He hits, as evidenced by a forced fumble. I think he's going to get a lot more playing time. And I think if like what he showed in his playing time there at the Giants, I think coming over to a solid defense, I think it only trends upwards for him, in my opinion. Just like what he's exciting to watch, to be honest with you. And he's intense. He's like an intense individual. So I'm going to say real deal.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to pull out a Lee Corso and say, not so fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend. So here's what I think we got, man. I think we need a reality check on Cordell Flott. It's not because I don't necessarily agree with some of what you said, but I don't personally think Cordell has proven it on the field for the length of time that gives me the conviction to immediately before I see him on the field in solid defense say that he's going to be a real deal for us. I do think that he has potential to get there, but I want to see it first. I think in looking over the tape of Flott, he is feisty. You're 100% right. For his framework, he's not afraid to hit. I agree with that. But there were times in some games with the Giants last year, I feel like, and again, I don't know where this lies. I don't know if it's schematic. I don't know if it was maybe a miscommunication between the safeties, the corners, or the scheme. However, there were times I feel like maybe he got burnt or he got lost a little bit. And I've just seen a little too much of that in my own fandom with my Tennessee Titans.
Butler.
Just gives me a little itch, And I know we're not talking about them. I love the safeties on our team. So I believe in those guys. But I'll tell you with Cordell, for me personally, I think it needs to be pump the brakes, reality check. And, kind of like your take on Bellinger, I got to see it. I got to see it first.
Absolutely. No, that's fair. Fair enough. Jermaine Johnson. Another solid guy, familiarity, all that kind of good stuff. So we got games played, 14, total tackles, 43, solo tackles, 22, 3 sacks, 2 passes defended, 34 quarterback pressures, and 5 tackles for a loss. And I'll let you lead on this one.
So Jermaine Johnson is super exciting to me. He's super exciting to me.
Exciting and excited, by the way. He might be our he's
100%.
all over Twitter, man. Before the trade was even finalized, he was like making friends with people following.
I know, man. He was getting JFM on the recruit chain. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude as a person sold me through X and what he was doing before he even hit the field. So here's where I'm at. I'm on real deal for Jermaine Johnson. I think that he had his best year under Robert Saleh. And obviously we know he got injured at Nissan Stadium. That ended that season. He came back. You look at some of these stats and you might say, well, that's not very impressive. Well, I would argue, go look at the Jets defense last year. The entire thing wasn't impressive. Like, who did you have around you to help? That was a team that didn't have one single interception the entire season. So, I think that coming to this defensive scheme back under Robert Saleh and lining up on the edge where you've got JFM and Big Jeff right next to you, not to mention whoever's going to be on the other side, right? I think that sets Jermaine up for a huge surge in productivity and potential behind the line of scrimmage and in the backfield to pump these stats, because he's going to be the beneficiary and the recipient of a lot of pressures that come up the middle when that quarterback tries to find a way out of it. So I'm excited. I think Jermaine's the real deal.
I know you said pump these stats, but I'm going to go ahead and say pump these brakes with a reality check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here it is. I don't want to pin it all on Sleepy Aaron Glenn, even though he is Sleepy Aaron Glenn. I
just love that nickname, man. Sweet Aaron Glenn.
So he got injured, obviously. I do think there's some promise, but the only thing I can hang my hat on with Jermaine that was real was his production pre-injury with Saleh. That gives me a lot of hope. I mean, the guy excites me. He's energetic. He's excited to be here. He loves Saleh, familiarity, all that stuff. It makes me excited. It's just been a little bit of time since the promising production that I'm kind of hanging my hat on. So I do got to say reality check for him. again, reality check does not mean he won't be or be good or great or whatever. I think this is one that I've got to see it to kind of believe it. But again, I am excited for him as a Titans fan. I'm going to say reality check here. Can't say real deal on them all.
Hey, it's fair. I got you.
All right. And our last and final edition, Solomon Thomas was huge coming into the draft. Everybody was talking about him that year when he came out. 2025 stats breakdown: games played 16, total tackles 27, solo tackles 18, 0 sacks, 1 pass defended, 12 quarterback pressures, and 3 tackles for a loss. I'll let you go on this one.
Yeah, so I like Solomon Thomas, man. I mean, this guy looks like a machine.
He looks smart.
It's unbelievable. This OTA, first off, it seems like the Titans account has loved Solomon because they put out a lot of pictures and a lot of stuff with him featured in it, or at least it comes across like that. And I was just admiring. This dude's massive, in regards to weight. He is a big dude, and he's cut. I mean, there was a video of him coming off the line, and the guy had no gut hanging out. And I'm thinking, I'd love to have that, and I'm half his weight. So it's like, I mean, it's super impressive. I go back into context for me as to how he's going to be utilized in the system. There's familiarity again with Saleh, which I really like. I think when you looked at how the Dallas Cowboys utilized him last year, you can look at those stats and say 0 sacks, but look at the pressures, right? You got 12 quarterback pressures, which means, again, you're getting in the backfield. You're creating some sort of an effect on the play, potentially, whether it's on the back end or the second level of the defense, or right there at the point of attack, and you've got some other guys going around. It is hard for me to sit here and say real deal on so many guys, but I genuinely think this is a real deal signing for the context of this Tennessee Titans defensive line. And it's real deal on what are my personal expectations of Solomon Thomas. So for everybody listening out there, I don't expect Solomon to be a Pro Bowler. I expect him to come in and be a valuable, impactful piece of a defensive line totality. And so for that reason, I think he's a real deal.
Absolutely. So for me, got to go reality check. He looks the part. And one thing I think you can say about all these people, which excites me, because how many years have we watched just injury after injury after injury? These longevity, 16, 17 games on a lot of these guys. So that's exciting. I think longevity will in itself produce production a lot of times, like availability.
That's a great point.
Best, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
the best ability.
I think there is going to be an uptick in his performance, just the Saleh effect, the familiarity, etc. I just don't know 100%. I don't know what they brought him in for. Did they bring him in for depth and to kind of like level the ship on a pass rush that maybe, I don't want to say they struggled last year. Like the Titans, like they had some production there in the back half of the season, sacks wise. But man, were they making something out of nothing, or were they making something out of nothing? It was like I couldn't even believe some of. I mean, they got what's his name? They traded to the Ravens and stuff. He was doing a
Ward, I think. Yeah.
So I gotta say reality check purely based on what he's coming here with production wise. That worries me. But like I said, he's a physical freak. The Saleh effect, I think he'll be better in that regard. We'll see, though. We'll see if it becomes a real deal.
Time will tell. And I think with these guys on the defensive line, time's going to tell pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
So what do you think overall? We both had our disagreements. We both had some agreements on real deal or reality check. How do you think that these weigh out for basically the overall prospect of these new additions to the Tennessee Titans in 2026?
I am excited for the whole.
Yes.
If I was to say real deal or reality check on the whole, I would say real deal. I would 100% say that. I'm excited for all of them in different ways. Probably least of the pack, probably Solomon Thomas. Like I said, he was an exciting guy coming in, but he hasn't been much of what everybody thought he was going to be. So
that's fair.
Yeah. So I do think, as far as free agents go, I think we did good. I think we got a lot of pieces that made sense. I think I'm happy with all of the signings.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you. And you mentioned it before, but the thing as a Titans fan that I believe we should all be excited and happy about is the word conviction, because I do believe
100.
that this front office is moving with conviction and a belief that they have on how to build and structure this team, and it's in coordination with Robert Saleh as a head coach and what he wants his football team to look like. And I think we're starting to see that, not only through the signings, but now seeing this team come together in OTAs and throughout these practices. That is exciting to me. So I think on the whole, I would agree with you. I think this offseason was a win and should be considered as a real deal. We will find out when rubber meets the road and it starts in September what this 2026 Titans team looks like in reality. But man, we sure have a lot of hope. So it feels good.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I mean, this whole off season was exciting.
This was
dude, it was crazy.
I hope we do something this season because
it's going to be an immense letdown if they don't.
Right. If we don't do something this season, this offseason is going to drag. No uniform reveal, no nothing. But hey, we do still have those rivalry uniforms to look forward to as well.
In August, I might have to do some mock-ups. We'll start rolling those out again.
That's a little teaser. That's what that was, folks. Yeah. Well, hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Real Deal or Reality Check. As always, we would love to hear your feedback and your thoughts in the comment section here on YouTube. You can also hit us up on X at the Titan Sector. Without you guys and your engagement, it just feels kind of bland. So we certainly would hope that you guys let us know in the comments what y'all think about our free agents and trades in the offseason, what these additions mean to the Tennessee Titans. Do you guys disagree with some of our takes on Real Deal or Reality Check, Pump the Brakes? And what does it look like in your opinion? And what is the ultimate goal look like for these players in the 2026 season for the Tennessee Titans? So let us know what you think. As always, man, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, share this content with a fellow Titans fan that you know, because we would love to get in front of them, connect with them, and make a new friend. We love doing that and connecting with everybody in this community. So until next time, and as always, I'm joined by Ghost. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you next episode.